everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am refitting Planet Honey Pop to be a restaurant. I have this weird problem where like almost all the lounges and all of that fun stuff, anything that basically has a bar in it, I have to turn it into a restaurant. It's an issue, I know. And as you can see in the video, I have a bunch of Sims loitering while I'm doing the build. I decided to do this while I was playing as the Jang family when they were just going out. Of course, they went to the wrong place. It always says they're going somewhere else. I don't know if that's a new bug, but that is what it is. And here I'm experimenting with doing a sitting area or a waiting area while the tables are being filled. Most restaurants have that little vestibule where you can sit on a couch and wait to be seated inside the restaurant. At first I was trying to have walls up, then I decided to do kind of more of a platform, and I kind of mess around with this a lot because I'm just trying to figure out exactly where I'm going with it. I do want to talk about some of the design elements. Color-wise, I'm trying to use that mosaic that they have by the karaoke machine, where it's all these super bright colors. I was utilizing that as my inspiration. I also wanted to use that keyboard rug in a couple of different places. I still wanted it to feel like a karaoke bar. I still left the karaoke machine in, the stage. I just wanted to make it a functioning restaurant. I also wanted to keep a lot of the original elements of the place. I wanted it to still feel like the same bar that you're going to, but I just wanted to add more items and make it a functioning restaurant. And with a lot of the design I use, especially in these kind of venues, I try to use a lot of the bones of the place and get inspired by what's already there and build off of that. And I liked the bright colors, and I still wanted it to feel fun. I didn't want to make it overly classy looking or overly stiff. I still wanted it to feel like it belonged in the city of San Myshuno, and I'm probably saying that wrong. And when I think of San Myshuno, I think of a lot of Asian elements meets San Francisco, which just makes me think of a lot of bright colors and some laid-back atmosphere for some of the nightlife. Obviously, if we're going to the high-end area of San Myshuno, this would look very different if it was there. And now I'm just trying to figure out some of the lighting in here. I use different wall lighting, and I'm also trying to figure out the tables. I wanted the tables to feel really modern, and I end up using those glass bubble chairs from Get to Work, because I never use them, and I feel like it makes sense here, because it's laid back, colorful, and modern. And for a lot of the furniture, I wanted to use glass or white or black because I am using so many colors in the lamps, the lighting, the walls, the decorations. I needed something to kind of balance off of that. And here I'm trying to figure out how to place the bar. I was originally going to try to make it a little bit of a more closed off room. I'm also trying to place the kitchen at the same time. I end up using one of the bars from the bowling stuff pack, which I actually really liked in here a lot, and I also want to change the color of the walls to teal in this little section, so there is a little bit more differentiation. And also just not using the wood flooring throughout, trying to add different things in. I also attempted there to put two of the bars next to each other using move objects on. I didn't really care for how that looked. I end up using little glass walls and kind of finagling everything so it fits together. And when I place some of the bar stools, I actually put some up to that glass too, just so there's more seating at the bar area. And I think it ended up looking pretty cool. The bar area is my favorite part of this build, honestly. For some of the hidden section of the bar, I obviously wanted to add in a sink, and I end up adding in some little plates and cups, just so there's a little working section that's kind of hidden from view. Apparently I love using those counters, which are meant to be outdoors on a lot of my more quote-unquote modern builds, I think they just look clean and they go with a lot of stuff. I do wish we had more counters in the game in general, because comparatively, we just don't have a lot of that stuff. But this is that little corner section that's out of view that I was talking about, so that the bartenders can just quickly go back there and wash some stuff up instead of having to take it to the kitchen. And I'm still trying to figure out lighting. For some reason, in every single build, I go through quite a few different lights to figure out exactly what I'm doing. I end up using some of the little lantern-looking ones, the painted lantern-looking ones, because once again, they're colorful, they're modern, and they kind of fit the theme. Because this restaurant, food-wise, you'll see later, I pick a lot of the generic Asian food from the City Living pack. I just pick a bunch of different Asian food, including Indian food, from that, because I wanted this to be kind of an Asian fusion restaurant. And I stuck with that theme for the food because I have a lot of just fast food restaurants. I used the burger one that came with the restaurant pack. Dine Out. Yeah, it's called Dine Out. And I wanted something different. I have a couple of Mexican-themed restaurants, and I have some higher-end restaurants, a couple of Italian ones. I even have a semi-Cajun one in Willow Creek, because that makes sense since it's based off of New Orleans. But I wanted a restaurant here in San Myshuno that was different than the other ones I have. And once again, using a lot of glass tables for various seating arrangements. I'm using some of the other painted lanterns to put over each table in a couple of different colors, because my main theme for this build was color. I wanted color mixed with modern aesthetics. And I'm removing those chairs there that I was originally going to keep because I wanted more seating for diners. I also used a lot of stage lights around the karaoke bar stage because it is a stage and I wanted the lights to focus all in there. I did move some of the seating back, and by seating I mean the high back white chairs to sit by the bathroom, so if someone's waiting for someone or someone's waiting to use the restroom, they can go ahead and get in there. For the bathrooms, I went pretty dark for the tiling, and I ended up using navy on the walls. I still wanted this part to feel really modern, and I wanted to keep the talking toilets because I removed them from almost every single build. And here I just wanted to keep them, so I did. And I went through some of the wall colors a couple times, and I ended up for the most part keeping that peach in. The kind of salmon color. That's just what happens. And there we just got whiplash from me moving around the camera way too much. And you're actually going to get to see me select the clothing for the staff. I'm very into doing this part, especially. I love doing this for the restaurants, and I always tend to pick a uniform that goes across some of the different employees. I don't usually change what the chefs are actually wearing, but the waiters, waitresses, and hosts usually have a similar idea going on. Since I am trying to go for a generically Asian restaurant or an Asian fusion restaurant, I ended up picking some of the generically Asian tops from City Living. And I tried to keep them within the same color theme just so they all go back together. So they look like they all work at the same restaurant. And I have to go back in for his because I literally forgot to give him shoes. He might need those. Just a little bit. I want to have a barefoot restaurant. If I was going to do that, I'd make it just a full-on country theme. That might be fun. Maybe we'll do that later. And the outfits we just did were for the waiters and waitresses. Now I'm trying to pick for the hosts. I had more trouble with the hosts, honestly. I was trying to pick something that wasn't exactly the same as what I picked for the waiters and waitresses. I end up pretty much using the same tops for the waiters and waitresses, but for the hosts I give them a dressier pant. The waiters and waitresses have aprons with jeans, and the hosts have dress pants, or in the case of the female hosts, a pencil-length black skirt. Just trying to make it more different. I just ended up not liking it as well, unfortunately. I do love that wrap dress, though. I need to use that for some other Sims. Maybe I'll start doing like makeover videos too. We'll find out. And I love the butterflies on that top and the colors. It's just really pretty. I did give the host gold heels though. I wanted it to match that top. I almost went with a gold skirt, as you could have seen in that video. Just ended up going with the black. I thought it looked better. And here I'm just going through the menu and picking a bunch of the Asian street food from City Living. It's really all I'm doing here. Nothing too fancy. These poor Sims, they're gonna be paying way more getting it from here if I ever get someone to buy this restaurant. It'll be the same street food as around the corner for a quarter of the price. Capitalism at its finest. This was honestly my favorite feature from the dining expansion pack for the restaurants, is that you could select and customize a menu, and you could choose what your staff wore. I was more excited about customizing the menu because that's not something we've had previously in the game, and I can go a little crazy with it, not gonna lie. I know there's been a couple times where I picked way too many drinks and I had to figure out what drinks to not add. Here I'm just putting a couple more finishing touches on the decorations of the bar. I used a lot of these jazz musician paintings throughout because I wanted there to be a music theme, since it is still a karaoke bar in my brain. It's just a karaoke bar / restaurant. It's a shame that we can't have a venue technically be multiple things. I wish it could function as both a restaurant and a karaoke bar without having to sacrifice one or the other. With the way it is now, it has to either be a karaoke bar with stuff to have a restaurant without the restaurant be functioning, or be a restaurant that happens to have a karaoke bar inside of it. I wish that it could just function as both without sacrificing either of them. And I did share this one to the gallery, as you just saw in the video before, adding little table toppers, as I call them. It took me a while to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, because I usually love adding flowers on top of dining tables. I think it just looks pretty and classy. I end up using the really modern looking salt and pepper and menu display that I had on there at the beginning, basically. But I gotta try everything else, and 99% of the time I go back to the original idea. That's just what happens. It's how I work. If you are interested in my little section of the Sims gallery, the username is just Lestatspoet. EA user ID Lestatspoet. That's it. Nothing fancy. Here we're just gonna be cycling through different snapshots of around this lovely, lovely restaurant / karaoke bar. Thank you so much for watching this video this whole way through. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you disliked it, you can hit that too. It's fine. My feelings aren't going to be hurt by it either way. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. If you have any questions, feelings, concerns, please share that in the comments section down below. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and I'll be seeing you soon.